Hi, my name is Shai Schmetzer. I'm part of the Oracle Visual Builder team, and in this demonstration we're going to show you how to manage the lifecycle of your Visual Builder application using the Oracle Developer Cloud Service. We'll show you how to manage issue, manage your code, and automate continuous integration and continuous delivery of your applications. You're going to see the full CI/CD cycle of development with Visual Builder and Developer Cloud Service and how they work together. So we're starting with an application we have here which is already staged. So let's look at the staged application and the functionality it provides. It's a very basic application where we can see a list of employees, an edit button. We can click on an employee and go and edit the details of this employee in this page. So let's suppose that we want to change this page and enhance it. One way to track our to-do items is to use an issue tracking system, which is one of the features that Developer Cloud Service provide. So I'm logged in here to Developer Cloud Service, to our Visual Builder project, and I'm logged in as Jeff. And as Jeff, I can go over to our issue tracking and I can log a new issue in our system. Okay. For example, need image on AMP edit page. I can indicate that this is, for example, a task. I can set the priority for this, and I can also assign it to one of the developers. So let's assign it to Shai. We can also estimate how long it's going to take, say when we actually need it. So let's say we need it today, and create the issue. So the issue is now in the system, and I'm going to switch now to work as Shai. And as Shai, I can go over to the same project in Developer Cloud Service and look at the issues and see the issues that are assigned to me. Okay, and I can see, oh, I have a new issue here. It's issue number 3 that I need to take care of. I know that my code is inside my Git repository over here. I'm going to check out my code, but to do changes, we're not going to do the changes on the master branch, but rather we're going to create a new branch. So let's create a branch here. We'll call this one the issue 3 branch. Okay. And now I'm going to take the code from my Git repository, and I'm going to do this from my VBCS instance. So I'm logged in here as Shai, and I'm going to import code directly from our Git repository. So let's hook up to the devcs instance, select our project, pick up the code repository and the specific branch that we want to check out, in this case the issue 3, and I'll just call my application issue 3 and then hit the import button. So this takes the code from the Git repository and brings a copy into my environment. Now I have a local copy of the application. I can go into this local copy and I can work with my application here. Right, there's no data right now in my application, so let me just put in some fake data in here. We're working on the employees, so I'll just add one more record. Okay. Okay, so now that we have a record in our database, we'll be able to see it in our page. Let's hit a refresh here. Okay, and we can go into live mode, select the employee and go edit it, and now actually make our changes in the application. So back into design mode, we're going to edit this page a little bit. For example, we're going to move this to the side, bring in an avatar, place it here, make it a larger avatar and hook it up to data coming from our image or picture field, like that. And then we don't need this field. Right, so we made our changes, we're ready to check the code back into our Git repository. So we'll do a push into the Git repository, and we say fix for issue 3. Push to the Git repository. This takes our code and uploads it back into the cloud instance. Now, before we actually go and have this in our production application, we might want to go through a process of people reviewing the code changes. So I'm going to switch again as Shai the developer. If I go to my project home right now, you can see the transaction I just did into the Git repository. In fact, if you click on it, you'll be able to see exactly the lines of code that I added, the line of code that I changed or removed. Okay? And I want people to review the code changes I did. So I'm going to create a merge request here. And I'm going to say that I want to merge into master the changes I did in this branch, issue 3. Okay, it automatically would recognize the commits that were involved. I'm going to say that this is related to issue 3 that I'm trying to resolve, and I can say that I want Jeff to review my changes. Okay. Alright, so let's switch over and see what Jeff is going to see now. So again, now I'm Jeff. I'm going to go over to the merge requests section of Developer Cloud Service. And in here I can see, oh, there's a new request for me to review some code changes. I can go over, I can see the changes, the requests, and the specific files. I can give people comment on the code. Maybe, for example, I want to say that this looks good. Okay, so submit the comment, and Shai would get my comments in here. Once we're happy with the code, we can approve the changes, and we can then merge those into the master branch. We can even delete the branch and mark our issue as resolved. Create a merge request, and this is it. Now what you're going to see is if I switch over to the build, you'll see, oops, there's a build that has been scheduled for us to be executed. And it's actually executing right now. Let's see what this build is actually doing. So let's look at the configuration of the build. This build is hooked up to our Git repository and to the master branch, and it's automatically invoked every time we make a change to the code in the master branch. Then it's going to invoke a step that is using the new VB build grant command to actually build and stage our application. We have a bunch of parameters that we're passing here, including parameters such as the service URL. This is the URL to our VBCS instance. The ID of the application, so this is the name of the application we're going to stage, the version, the username, password, and any optimization we want to do. For example, we're doing this optimization here. Alright, so we'll cancel out of here, and we can see this build just finished now. We can also look at the log and see exactly what it did, including the fact that it went over and staged the application. Which means that if we switch back into the view of our staged application, remember this is the edit page before, let's hit the refresh button. And you can see now the new design for our page has been applied to our running application. So this is a complete automation from recognizing code that needs to be changed, changing the code in a branch, reviewing the changes, merging the changes, automatic build that results in a deployed changed application. And of course, everything is trackable in our Developer Cloud Service if we look here at the history of our project. Okay, from recognizing a new issue to actually deploying and staging the application.